Day 2. Deploying for mission. Mission confirmed. Damage opponents with SMGs or explosives. Northwestern Peninsula is the destination, this time. Hopefully I last longer, this time. Maybe I won't run into an opponent with a boomerang this time, though that may actually decrease my chances. I don't know, something happened last time that I hope isn't repeated this time. Anyway, 308 meters away from destination, and rapidly dropping. As V-17A6 said yesterday, the Zig ray cuts horizontal distance like a hot knife through butter. Now landing on the mainland side of the bridge. En route to the landmark on foot. Chest spotted, making my way there. Chest nearly fully approached. Contents: maiden auto shotgun, slap juice, shells, and wood. An enemy has just now landed here, as well. Now would be a good time to play this cautiously. Drinking slap juice. Nearly at 30% shield. Now drinking the final slap juice. All slap juice is fully consumed for 45% shield. Energy is temporarily infinite, allowing for longer sprints. Opponent neutralized via SMG. Awaiting damage results. How long do damage results take to update? Mission accomplished, my lord. How's that? For me, that's 2 for 2. I may have been eliminated by my opponent after only 7 minutes and 17 seconds, but I still completed the mission to damage an opponent with a shotgun. And now, I completed this mission. How about that? Anyway, it's time to move on with the rest of the round, and whatever other mission I can do right now. In a case like that, one definitely comes to mind. I've been told repeatedly that we're supposed to complete missions before the SDA and SMC does, so stealing the research notes for the Chalice may be a good start. There are also daily and milestone missions that continue popping up even after completion. Therefore, completing all the missions before the SDA or SMC would be an impossible task. They only specialize in weekly and storyline missions anyway. That makes all the difference. Then the job board mission and research note mission are our only 2 options remaining. Whichever one you want us to prioritize, I will make my way to them post-haste. Until such time as I get such orders, I will continue to patrol the streets for enemy loopers to eliminate. Despite my original record of 7 minutes and 17 seconds, I have a reasonable amount of confidence that I can make it further this time. The difference is, I've learned from my mistake, and that of 6 of my successors. Yes, you indeed shall see, my lord. Now drinking slap juice again. This last slap juice will only get me to 90% shield. Jumping into a sky jelly to make up the difference. Now proceeding with the rest of the round. Still no orders received for storyline or weekly missions, continuing to patrol the autumn sector for enemy loopers. To most, this sector of the island looks so pretty, but to us, it's just another sector of the island. The main thing we care for is to complete missions. Everything else is just a sideshow, a distraction. Although, winning would feel pretty darn good. It's not likely in ranked battle royale, which, if I achieved it anyway, would make it feel even better, but still, anything is possible. By luck, fluke, or genius strategy, I could miraculously pull off a win. Now engaging my second opponent. I have unleashed 2 full clips upon them so far, but accuracy and power are both poor from this distance. Despite that, the opponent was eliminated anyway, so any concern I was about to register is now no longer a concern. However, even if I did run out of another full clip without eliminating them, I had 10 light bullets besides, and if that didn't work, I could just slide down and shoot them with the maiden auto shotgun, most likely finishing them off in 1 expert blast. Regardless, they were doomed from the start. And why? Because they were one of the dumber opponents. They showed brief signs of being an architect, then devolved to total greenhorn mentality. They weren't even that experienced as a soldier. Only without a shield would I have even been pressured by that looper. Oh well, onwards to the next objective. Now entering the jungle pit sector. Entry point, Rumble Ruins. This is the right sector for the research node mission, so give the word, and I'll head north to steal them. Otherwise, I'll continue along my current path, continuing my patrol, watching for more greenhorns to eliminate. I have eliminated 2 so far, which is already double my original record. However, I have only been on the island for a little over 4 3/4 of a minute, so I need to stay focused and level-headed. It wouldn't do to make the same mistake as V17A4, who, while he surpassed my original record by over a minute, he also made a crippling mistake and got eliminated himself. Therefore, who really did worse? The one who attacked Driver with no eliminations and got himself eliminated instead, or the one who completed the mission with one elimination and got taken out while trying to find a way to eliminate the opponent without getting damaged? I would think the answer is obvious. Sheer drop detected near river or creek. Going around to the ruins instead. The earthquake really did a number to the central area of the island. Even the area within the pit has crumbled away in some places, making it deeper than the entirety of the rest of the island. The confusing part is, how did an entire ecosystem survive a landslide of this caliber? Trees, unique flowers, raptor eggs, and various other flora and fauna deep beneath the ground should have been crushed. And yet, there they are. Not only surviving, but thriving. The life on this island, even the plants and animals, are incredibly resilient. Although, then again, this entire island seems to be trapped in a time loop, except for certain events that change everything. Like the final defeat of the IO, heck, even the Collider's construction was so major that it was allowed to stay, even though almost everything else is reset by the next match. All the damage is reset, all the structures loopers built is removed, even the loopers that were eliminated come back from the dead. Even the people you can talk to and eliminate come back the next match. So, how then can construction truly stick? How can something defy a temporal reversal and persist, even when everything else is reset? Checking the status of the storm. The storm has nearly reached the current predicted eye. It's incredible how accurate these forecasts are. Even the augment forecast is something else. Not only does it show one predicted eye, but it shows two predicted eyes, and guesses both right with pinpoint accuracy. I guess the scientist really was a genius, after all. He made an AI and a device that can alter reality to give you unique abilities. However, you can only choose 4 out of the augments that show up, some of which are so powerful they can turn the tide in your favor, and some so useless that you have to wonder why they were added at all. However, then again, different loopers use different augments in different ways, so an augment that's useless for us could be crucial for a looper that better knows how to use it. Vice versa, an augment that is crucial for us may be as useless as a broken thumb for them. There are pros and cons to every augment, just as there are pros and cons for every weapon. A heavy sniper rifle, for example, they boast tremendous power, even against structures, albeit they can only pack 1 bullet in their chamber, making it slower than, say, an assault rifle. Likewise, an SMG is ridiculously fast, but every single shot that hits the looper barely makes a mark. However, the reason why we prefer the latter over the former is, while single shots do less damage, the speed at which they fire, and the size of the magazine compared to the heavy sniper rifle, more than makes up the difference. That's also why we prefer the drum shotgun over the Havoc pump shotgun. If you can get past the slow firing rate and utilize the powerful shots properly, good for you. We can't. Anyway, I just rode my Raptor through Frenzy Fields, and made it into the Japanese sector of the island. No looper detected, Greenhorn or Architect alike. However, there are 22 enemy loopers left, which is still a lot. We could meet any one of them at any point, and either eliminate them, or get eliminated. Mega City is up ahead. Should I chance it? 2 other V17 units have entered Mega City, with differing results both times. V17A4, through his overconfidence, was eliminated by a looper that drove the car over his bore, and later, him, then finished him off with an assault rifle. On the other hand, V17A6, through his cautious nature, survived in Mega City, and was only eliminated outside of Mega City by a double dose of Storm and his opponent's gun. All I'm saying is, as long as I don't get overconfident, I should be fine. Speaking of the circumstances that led up to V17A4's elimination, this looks familiar. I'll need to check my surroundings in order to keep myself from getting eliminated by an enemy looper. However, this Raptor is valuable for traveling around the island. So, I'm going to guard him. Nothing to report, so far, where enemy loopers are concerned. Where his stamina is concerned, he seems to be resting up pretty quickly. In fact, he's already rested up enough to carry me further, making our way the rest of the way into Mega City. Again, as long as we're cautious, we should be fine. That may only apply to me, as a raptor may be somewhat smart, but they can't accurately judge whether a looper is worth fighting or running away from. Heh, amazing how much A4 and raptors have in common. Ah ha 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 ha. Oh well, one defective V17 doesn't mean a thing about the line as a whole. As the rest of us have proven, we are highly analytical droids, which mostly judge when to run or when to fight. And usually, outside of the odd times where we know that we have to complete the mission, or get eliminated trying, we are typically right. Why do you think V17A6 hid in Mega City instead of going out and saying, I'm here to fight? Because V17A4 was eliminated pulling a stunt like that. Anyway, it seems like my raptor is resting again. While standing up, this time, very curious. But also, very convenient, as he won't have to move in order to allow me on his back and carry me to my next destination. As soon as he fully rests up, we can move on. I will guard him until that happens. I know that was how A4 was eliminated, but I will try to be more vigilant, and not try to attack a looper coming right at me while driving a car. Speaking of which, scanning the area for enemy loopers. Mostly scanning the sky for enemy gliders. Those are some of the most dangerous loopers, as they typically drop onto their helpless victims, and spray the victim, eliminating them with ease. And typically, unless you're an architect, there's not much you can do against an enemy glider. So, that's why V17A6 was so cautious when an enemy glider appeared on his sonar. Only V17A4 seems to lack this cautious programming. I just eliminated yet another enemy looper. So now, not only have I completed the mission, and lasted almost twice as long as I did during my first deployment, but I have also eliminated thrice the enemy loopers of my first deployment. You wanted an improvement? Well, there you go. All across the board. Improvement after improvement after improvement. Impressed yet? Well, I intend to keep on working, keep on impressing you for the foreseeable future. Now searching this building for better weapons, more ammo, medical supplies, and building materials. Even though we rarely build, when it comes to already being spotted by an enemy looper, what many V17 assassin droids don't understand is that no amount of stealth matters at that point, no amount of full frontal assault matters at that point. If you don't build, you won't survive against anyone other than a greenhorn. It's just that simple. Anyway, my raptor has, once again, gotten too tired to carry my weight. As one of my successors said, unless an animal eats after having fully depleted their stamina for the first time, they will have to rest more often. Especially if they sprint. In a case like that, you'd actually be going slower if you made them sprint, not faster. Sure, in the short term, you'd be faster, but in the long term, with how long they take to rest, you're actually not going that fast. Now securing a medmist for my raptor. Can I heal him while on his back? No? Well, it was worth a try anyway, now dismounting so as to heal him up properly. Hey, stand still. Thank you. Now stay still. I said stay still. That means stop moving. Don't you want to survive, you big, dumb lizard? Hey, I said to stop moving. You're making me waste some of this med mist, and as it is, you need as much of this as you could get. Fine. I ran out of it anyway, you impatient idiot, now riding to the next predicted eye. There's very little of Mega City left in the eye, and the eye will close in 50 seconds. As such, I still have an ample amount of time left to search buildings for better weapons and more supplies, but only if, outside of the eye, I don't get carried away with it. Given Mega City is super popular as a landing spot at the start of the round, I don't think there are any more chests that haven't been searched yet. Still, there is one a pretty good distance from myself. I'm going to wait and see if an opponent comes up here, however, as to search the chest with an opponent nearby is to essentially let them know where you are by the chest making noise upon being opened, and thus signing your elimination warrant. So, I think I will ignore that chest for now. Now making my move, as the storm is about to start moving again. I know it's a long way from the next predicted eye, but that doesn't always mean that the storm will come slowly. In fact, the fact that the storm is this close to the eye is actually cause for relief, as the further away from the next predicted eye the storm is, the faster it moves. I think I'm on the slower side of the storm by proxy. Regardless, this is no time to be resting on my laurels, as to get complacent is to forget why V17A4 got eliminated in the first place. and especially when a looper with Bloodhound was already firing at and hitting me, hence why I know that they had Bloodhound to begin with. Now checking this section of the roof for better weapons and more ammunition. The storm has arrived. I need to go. I need to hightail it out of there before the storm eliminates me. I need to take the ascender down. I've just reached the bottom. Whoa, the storm is so close. Okay, the storm is entirely too close. Ack, I'm engulfed. Hey, there's a looper on a bike. Wait for me. Darn, worth a try. Oh well, whether on foot, or by sports bike, or by raptor, I have to get back into the eye as soon as possible, or enemy loopers will be the least of my worries. Speaking of my raptor, it looks like he too barely made it out of the storm. Now let me guess, he's about to get eliminated by an enemy looper. That will happen just about any minute now. Either that, or the looper will use him as a way to track where I am, eliminate me, and then eliminate him for good measure. Either or. Regardless, I will continue to try to hide behind this bush for now, just hoping the looper will take the dumber of two choices. However, that's not guaranteed, so I may be done for soon. I saw movement in this direction, but if they saw me, they didn't start building. They had to have seen my raptor, however, as raptors, when they detect enemy loopers within a certain distance from you, will aggressively charge the enemy, throwing away all caution. The fact that mine didn't continue to pursue the looper meant that the looper went out of range. Still, I will stay vigilant, as to let down your guard is to suffer a catastrophic loss against the enemy looper that ambushes or otherwise surprises you. Now selecting augments whilst I hide in this bush. Mythic munition seems like a fantastic one to start with. Grabbing mythic tactical pistol. Oh, it looks like I have the maximum number of light bullets that I can hold. Okay, I just selected light fingers and now first assault. Now for the last one. Steady hands versus primal companion. I don't have a marksman rifle, so steady hands is off the table. But, do I really want primal companion? While the healing aspect would be vital for survival, and the thermal vision would be helpful for detecting enemies, my raptor is about to bite it anyway, scanning area for enemy looper. I will postpone my decision on the primal companion augment until later. I have 3/4 of my augments selected, so maybe I should be fine with just those 3. The storm that previously engulfed Mega City has now receded to the city's borders. The last phases of the storm are the most dangerous and unpredictable, as the then current and future eyes often overlap, and the eyes sometimes even move deeper into what used to be the storm. In these cases, you need to watch your map vigilantly. And the fact that there are 6 enemy loopers left in the eye doesn't help the pressure at all. The next predicted eye has moved again, and this time, only the southwestern block of Mega City is to be spared from the lethal effects of the storm. And there are still 4 loopers, myself included, left in the eye. That number had rapidly dropped from 7 to 4 following some sort of intense scuffle, and my raptor was killed by one of the remaining loopers. I believe that this is it. My final battle of the round. Wish me luck. Building structures. If they want me so badly, they'll have to come through my structures first. Alright, they...
Nearly 19 minutes. Not bad. That was a vast improvement from your last record.
Day 2. Deploying for mission. Mission confirmed. Damage opponents with rare or better weapons. I'm somewhat confident that I'll be able to double my last record, since V17A1 improved prior to his round. In fact, with my previous record of being eliminated only a minute before V17A1's previous record, I dare say I could almost triple my previous record. I'm so excited to begin. Anyway, once again landing at shady stilts. I learned in one of my failed previous rounds that the ruins are indestructible from the outside, and thus, impenetrable except for the mysterious door around the base. I'm picking up multiple chests on my sonar. I'm not finding any out here, however, so they must be on the inside of these ruins. Grate detected. Commence experiment to see if it's destructible. Not even this grate can be broken. So, that door at the base is the only way in. But, that begs the question, how to open it? I saw some holo chests as well, but I don't have any keys to open them, as usual. Ammo box detected. Opening ammo box. Contents, nothing? What just happened? Why did this open to give me absolutely nothing? I don't get it. Ammo boxes usually have ammo in them. Oh well, I don't have time to scratch my head over a previously unheard of occurrence. Let's focus on the mission at hand. Since I can't access the holo chests or the ruins, this place no longer interests me. I'm proceeding to the winter sector, which should be more useful for our mission. Or rather, I'm heading to the gas station in a random grassy area within the otherwise frozen section. This grassy patch of land has been here since the old island detonated, and the new island was formed through some process known as zero fusion. From what I could gather while helping to restore the 0 point, it appeared to be snatching pieces of other realities, as well as what could be salvaged from ours, into an enormous amalgamation of an island. And this little patch of grassland was placed here by the 0 point for some unknown reason. Ask it, not me. Ah, there's the rare weapon I shall use to complete the mission. A blue SMG. This is one of the best weapons I could have gotten. Alright, now the mission has truly started. Searching the cooler. A flopper and 3 bottles of slap juice came out of it. Get out of here, flopper. You're not worth carrying around, even if I were damaged. Anyway, drinking the last of the slap juice. Shield has reached 95%. While I would rather a solid 100%, beggars can be choosers, I suppose. Oh wait. Another 3 bottles of slap juice. Score. Now, I can take 199 damage, and still win, albeit with a lot of pressure. Too much for some loopers to handle. But, as I'm a machine, I could handle it, but my self-preservation alarms would be wailing in my heads-up display. And there's the ever-common Havoc pump shotgun. Again, I get it, it's powerful. If at a high enough rarity, it could even one-shot a looper. However, it would have to hit, with every part of the shell, the head of a looper. And after a certain point, those shots became harder to pull off. Therefore, the one thing that actually gave the shotgun the edge was ruined by a redesign that made said shots harder to pull off. If the gun manufacturers would just leave well enough alone, we would use the guns more regularly, but no. They have to listen to the loopers that complain about how fast the weapon takes them down. And that's why we stick to the weapons with higher firing rates. They're more reliable, they almost never have loopers complaining about them. Heck, for the longest time, the original assault rifles weren't even changed at all. Then, finally, the time came for them to be replaced by more modern weapons. Some great, some subpar, but the point I'm trying to make is, the weapons which seem weaker on the surface are often overlooked, and almost never changed. That's why we like them. They're reliable, easily underestimated, hardly ever changed, and easier to master. Now gliding on the zig ray in pursuit of an enemy looper. I need the mission done, and if you don't have enough health to allow me to finish the mission, at the very least, you will have enough health to help me get progress on it. So, what's it to be? An elimination, for one thing. But how much damage could I deal prior to their elimination? 88? Not bad. Could have been better, but could have been worse, too. They were caught in the storm like I was, after all. They would have been hard-pressed to heal up by the time I got to them. That doesn't change the fact that I'd have liked more, but I can sympathize with them somewhat. Now drinking a shield potion to get back up to full shield. I just need 12 more damage to complete the mission. One successful hit, and however long it takes to update the damage counter, would do it. Just as long as I don't get eliminated in the process, I should have this mission in the bag. Now taking a zipline across to the other side of Brutal Bastion. More specifically, I think, to one of its launch pad towers. 10 seconds until Storm moves again, and I'm pretty close to the eye. I just have to sprint or glide the rest of the way between now and the time it takes for the eye to close, and I'll be safe. From the Storm, at least. From enemy loopers is another, doubtful thing altogether. In order to be safe from an enemy looper, I'd have to build, shoot, and hopefully heal my way to victory. Either that, or run from the fight, which is hard to do. As one of our units said in the past, if a looper wants you dead bad enough, they will chase you to the end of the island, shooting at you every clear shot they got, until they kill you, or in rare cases, you lose them. In that case, the time of calm you have could be only temporary, so it would be best spent healing up, reloading your weapons, and planning your next move. One of the first locations within the eye, and the closest to me at the moment, is the Hall of Whispers, the laboratory where one of our units learned about the flapjack rifle. I might visit it later, but for right now, I'm going to use the wind tunnel to get to the eye faster. I saw an enemy looper gliding through the sky a while ago, but they're probably miles away by now. If I see them again, which I probably won't be able to recognize them again, I will let loose some rounds from my SMG until either of us are eliminated. Hopefully not me, because I have a mission to do, and a master to impress. Therefore, I would need to be careful once I engage another opponent. My opponent is trying to lose me, are they? That's cute. But, I have a mission to do. So, I'm not going to make that easy for them. You want to escape me? Then you're either going to have to outsmart or outgun me. According to what I can see, both by my sensor and my sonar, my opponent went this way. Let's see if I was keeping up good enough. Completely empty. Nope, not here. Although, this stuff could be useful. Alright, shield potion secured. Time to resume my pursuit. Arg. I've lost them. I don't even see them on my sonar. Great. Now how am I supposed to complete the mission? Oh. I detected someone on a zipline. This is my chance. I just need to figure out where the looper went, and once I do that, it's party time. I would say it's over, but this is ranked battle royale, after all. These loopers are in leagues of their own. Opponent engaged. Opponent has a drum.
Well, so much for doubling or even tripling your survival time record.